Yo, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. It's 11:40 a.m. Pacific time. It's the 28th December 2025. Let's begin. The new definition of comfortable, the exact net worth needed to retire in the top 10% today. Comfortable retirement keeps moving. What your grandparents needed to live well doesn't even come close to cutting it anymore. The numbers have changed dramatically, and honestly, they might shock you more than you think. The 1.8 million threshold that changes everything. Through survey data, that's a roughly 40% jump in just 5 years. Between 2020 and 2024, the threshold for the top 10% of net worth grew about 40%, compared with about 23% for income, according to Visa's analysis. What does this mean? Wealth has been rising as fast as paychecks. The implications the implications are staggering. Census data and the S&P 500 gained roughly 109%. If you weren't invested in stocks or real estate during this period, you likely fell further behind. Think about it. Those who already owned homes and had money in the market saw their wealth explode while everyone else watched from the sidelines. What retirees in the elite group actually have 9 million according to Federal Reserve Board survey data. Here's where things get interesting though. Simply having that net worth isn't enough to live like you're wealthy. For those aged 65 to 69, the top 10% have an annual income of $200,000. Notice the gap. Need nearly 2 billion in assets, yet they're pulling in 6 figures. They earn income from a combination of dividends, rental properties, and strategic portfolios, which allows them to live comfortably without draining their principal savings. This is the crucial difference between being technically wealthy on paper versus actually well in retirement. Many people think hitting a certain net worth is the when really it's just the point, the real making that wealth work for you. The investment separates the top 10%. Typical portfolio for someone in the top 10% hold 60% stocks, 35% bonds, and just 5% cash or cash-like investments. This might surprise you because conventional wisdom tells retirees to play it safe. The thing, the retirees don't follow that advice. They're still looking for growth even in retirement, entirely conservative investments. That's because they have enough to cushion weather market downturns. Meanwhile, those with smaller nest eggs feel pressure to park everything in safe, low yield accounts that barely keep pace with inflation. Top 10% of Americans hold over 87% of corporate equities and mutual fund shares, with the value of those assets growing sharply since 2020. According to Federal Reserve data, concentration means gains disproportionately benefit those who were already wealthy, creating a self-reinforcing cycle. While most Americans are nowhere close, according to a Washington Post analysis of the Federal Reserve's 2022 survey of consumer finances, the median American family has a net worth of just $192,000 in 900. That's less than 1/10 of what's needed to reach the top tier. Recent Federal Reserve data reveals a stark contrast. Worth for those aged 65 to 74 is $1,794,600. The median is just $409,900. The gap between average and median tells you everything you need to know about wealth concentration in America. Million in 2022. Remember, these are just retirement accounts, not total net worth. Real estate, equity, business ownership, and other assets. The numbers climb even higher. Most Americans struggle to say anything close to these figures while managing everyday expenses student debt and healthcare costs. The reality check nobody wants to hear. Interestingly, Americans actually lowered their expectations from 2024. Perhaps reality is finally setting in. The gap between aspiration and achievement has never been wider. 2% of total household wealth, 5% of total household wealth. These aren't just statistics. They represent fundamentally different lived experiences and retirement realities. Truth is uncomfortable but necessary. Reaching the top 10% requires not just saving aggressively, but also strategic investing in favorable timing and often some degree of privilege or luck. It's achievable for some, but the math shows it's increasingly out of reach for most. What do you think? Realistic goals, or are they widening an already unbridgeable gap? What more stories like this do you need to have proof? Anyways, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let me know what you think. And follow me on Instagram, the Studio 11. Follow me on X, the Studio 2020. I like to say Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.